Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome back to Saturday Hodgepodge, where I talk about, kind of my weekly reading and other BookTube things that have been going on. This week, I've only finished one book this week, kind of embarrassed to say. That book was Jeanette Winterson's Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. Winterson's a new to me author, never read anything by her. This was her first book and won awards for first fiction. And it comes highly recommended. And I will say I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't know if I went into the book with expectations that may be a little unrealistically high, but there were just kind of large parts of the book that didn't work for me. I think Winterson's writing is good, clean, meaningful, all those kind of things you want in a writer. I found parts about her being raised in a fundamentalist Christian household to be really effective and true to life. I grew up in an area of the world in which the kind of Christianity her mother practices and the kind of Christianity in which she was raised is pretty much common in the 1970s and 80s. So that part really kind of spoke to me. But not all of it worked, and I don't know if it was just me, but they're kind of like, essentially, the novel tells the story, kind of fictionalized story, I think, of Winterson herself growing up in these circumstances. And those parts of me were really effective, describing her mother and other things that went on. But then there are these episodes, these little vignettes that take place in every chapter that are set kind of in the world of Arthurian legend. And, I get it. I know what they were doing, but I didn't care for that part a lot, and maybe I did miss something, but I just didn't care for that. What I found much more effective were her descriptions of falling in love and her growing awareness of her sexuality and of her first two relationships. I thought those were really poignant, beautifully done, and kind of the product of someone who is grown, looking back on all that, and looking back on that with incredible generosity, even to people who hurt her. And so those parts were effective, and like I said, I liked it. I didn't love it. The other thing I've been reading is something I do love, and that is I've been reading The Immigrants by W.G. Sebald. I think I've mentioned Sebald several times before. I've read The Ring of Saturn. I've read Austerlitz, and I am just a fanboy, I guess, for his work. And for his writing. There's something about his writing that just captures me. I don't know. His books appear to be kind of just him telling stories about members of his family or people he's done research on, and you kind of have to wonder where the line between fact and fiction is. There's something almost kind of otherworldly about his narrative voice and kind of what the writing style itself imparts to the stories is a certain kind of, I don't know, deeper, meaningful, mystical. It's really difficult for me to describe. I am going to do a full review of The Immigrants by Sebald when I finish. I'm about 120 pages in, and I'll try harder then to see if I can't figure out how to describe it. If you've never read a W.G. Sebald book, I think The Immigrants of the three that I've read, I'm about halfway through this one, is probably the most accessible, and you get a real quick sense for his style and what he's up to, I think. But it's just really been a great couple of days for me reading The Immigrants. Also, Sebald wrote The Immigrants in German, and it was translated into English by Michael Hulse. So this counts for the Read German Books challenge that was created by Mel over at Mel's Bookland Adventures and Britta from Britta Bohler. This counts as my first entry into an attempt to read books written in German originally, even though this one was translated into English. I also want to read, I have two other books that I know I'm going to try to read this year. They were written in German and by German authors. One is I want to read Death in Venice by Thomas Mann. I've had it on my shelf for pretty much as long as I can remember and never read it. I want to rectify that. And then I also just kind of went online and looked for female German authors and I found the name Jenny Erpenbeck in this book, Visitation. When I read about this book, Visitation, it sounded exactly like the kind of book that I wanted to read. This book, by the way, was translated by Susan Bernofsky. So let me just read you the blurb from the back. A forested property on a Brandenburg lake outside Berlin lies at the heart of this darkly sensual, elegiac novel. Visitation offers us the stories of 12 individuals who make their home here. The narrative weaves in and out of history and time, shimmering through the public and secret places of a magical little house and showing us the passions and fates of its inhabitants. That just sounds like a book for me. I've never heard of Jenny Erpenbeck before, so, I took a chance. I bought it. It's a slim little thing. I figure, other than the investment in money, it won't be a big investment of time if I don't like it, and that will be my third book, and I'm looking for more. By the way, both Mel and Britta did suggestion videos in which they suggested some books written in German that you might be able to look up. I think most of them are available in English translations as well. I'll leave links to their channels down below. I haven't really celebrated milestones on my channel up to this point, but I am over 1,000 subscribers, somewhere around 1,250, I believe, in terms of subscribers, and that means that I am on the verge of, as a matter of fact, I know because I got notification that I've qualified for monetization of my channel, and I'll tell you up front, I am going to monetize my channel. Not because I ever planned for this channel to make me rich or to make me any money at all, but philosophically speaking, I just have kind of a labor union approach to all these things, and in this sense, in terms of my YouTube channel, I'm the worker and YouTube is management ownership, and YouTube makes money because of the volume of traffic that comes to their channel. That sets the advertising rate, that attracts advertisers, and YouTube makes money from that. And part of that content, part of what draws people to YouTube are channels just like mine. As surprising it is for me to say out loud, people come to YouTube to watch BookTube videos, and some of them, thankfully, and thank all of you, watch mine. And I have a problem with workers working and not being paid. I have a problem with management and ownership making money and workers not being paid. So, even if it's only 50 cents here or there, I feel like that I'm due that. So I'm going to monetize my channel. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do the ads at the beginning or the little banner ads which pop up at the bottom, or both. If you have an opinion about that, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And hopefully me monetizing my channel won't alienate anybody. I know a lot of people on BookTube whose channels are monetized, who I love, and I watch their videos. And I watch the advertising oftentimes too. And I know channels who must be eligible for monetization that aren't. So I know that different people do different things, and I just hope you kind of respect why I want to monetize my channel. Also, I want to end up my Saturday Hodgepodge today by shouting out 4 channels. These are 4 channels that were new to me, and many of them have been recommended by other booktubers. As a matter of fact, I think all 4 of them have been. I can't remember exactly who I got all these recommendations for, and so some of these may be repeats for you. But and I'll leave links to all 4 of these channels down below. But one of the channels is Faith&Books, just a lovely, delightful channel with, some really good, solid BookTube videos. Also, what is it? Let's see. What's the name of the channel? I always forget. Everyone who reads it must converse, which I believe is a reference to a Flannery O'Connor story called Everything That Rises Must Converge, which I'm thinking about doing as part of my short story project. This guy, man, he does some stuff. He plays chess. He has lots of hobbies. And he reads all kinds of things. I'm really looking forward to seeing more videos on his channel. Also, the Rambling Raconteur. He's a guy who makes really good videos about deep thinking books, I think, and I really like his thinking. He's a fellow teacher. I was impressed by what he said in his last videos about teaching, so go check him out. And then the last channel I want to mention, I think is the biggest of the 4, and it's a channel called So Poe. And the young lady who does that channel reads incredibly widely. I just read her. I just watched her best books of 2019, in which she chooses 3 or 4 books from, it has to be 6, 7, maybe 8 different genres to recommend, and I found that really useful since I'm going to be trying to read more genre fiction this year. Anyway, please check out those channels. Let me know what you think about monetization, whether you like the video, the advertisement at the front, or if you prefer the little banners that pop up that you can click away during the course of the video. It's possible I'll ignore all of you and do what I want to do, which may be both or maybe one or the other. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to your comments in the comment section below.